Hello, my name is Charlie Evans. I am a software developer for the Call for Code team at IBM. Today, I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of how to take an existing application and move it into a container. Containers are a way to package and deploy your application code in a reliable, efficient, and highly scalable way. So let's get started. You can see here that I have an application. This is an Angular application that I built that is just the standard out-of-the-box Angular application. We can view this by just simply running npm run start. And after a short compilation process, we will have Angular's development server running, and then we can go view our application. So here, I can go to localhost 4200, and we can see our application running. I want to make a quick change to this application, so we're going to do that very quickly by changing the color of our toolbar to black. Because of Angular's live development server, my change was immediately picked up, and now when I come back, I have a black toolbar. Great, so my application is now ready to deploy to a production server. Normally, the way you would do this would be to build your code and then deploy it to a web server such as Apache or IIS or Nginx. But instead, we're going to make use of containers to do this, and I'll show you how. So first, we're going to start our development server here. And what we need in order to create a container is a definition file. This file is called a Dockerfile. You can see here that I have created one, and this is what it looks like. So we are making use of multi-stage build containers here. Basically what that means is we have a couple of different sections that are doing different jobs, resulting in a cleaner, small, more efficient container image in the end. So we have sort of this builder image, if you will, and then this is our web server image that will actually run our built and compiled code. So you can see how this is formatted. You always start with some sort of base image. For the builder image, I am using the Node.js official image, version 16. And I am copying in my files, running my npm install process to get all my packages, copying over my source code, and then running our npm run build command. And this is the command that Angular will run to output a dist folder that has all of our JavaScript, HTML, and CSS in it. You can see an example of that here. Now we change to another base image. In this case, it's the Nginx web server base image, and we are configuring it to take our build code from our builder image here and copying it in to this directory. We also have an Nginx configuration file that we make use of that we're copying into this specific location. We are exposing port 80, which is a very typical port for HTTP requests. And then our entry point command here is simply telling the container to start with this Nginx command. So in order to build this image, you would run a command like docker build. I'm going to use the -t flag, which means to tag. And this is just to make it easy to find your images by name and version number. We're going to call it hello world container, and I'm going to give it a version of 1.0. And then I'm telling the command to build in this current directory. That's what the period means. So when you build, it will run a process that scans your Docker file and then executes the commands. You can see that I have done this before, so everything came in as cached. This is another advantage of building containers, is that if you have cached build steps already on your machine, it will reuse those, so it makes the process very fast. we can see what my image looks like as far as size and when it was created by using Docker images as the command. And at the top here, you can see that we have our Hello World container, version 1.0. It was created 10 minutes ago, and its size is just 37 megabytes. That is very, very small, and that includes the Nginx web server contents as well. So now that you have your container image, how do you run it? How do you look at it? We can do that again with the Docker command called Docker run. I'm going to use the -d flag to run detached. That just means that after I execute the command, my terminal won't be taken up by, the running container. I'm also going to use the -p flag, which is a port mapping. What this allows you to do is to take a port on your local machine and map it to an exposed port in the container itself. So in our container image here, you can see that we exposed port 80. I am going to map that on my local machine to port 8080. So the syntax is local port : container port. And then we give it the container name and a version number if we set it. So you can see that after I hit enter, I got this identifier. We can verify that our container is running by running docker container ls. And we can see that our one container is running. The ID matches. It's our Hello World container. It's been up for 10 seconds, and we can access it on localhost port 8080. So let's do that now. Localhost port 8080. And look, our server is running, and it's running our code. You would run this, in the same exact way that you would, deploying it to a web server. There's a lot more that you can do with Docker containers, and this is just a very simple example. So hopefully that is a good, quick and easy explanation of Docker containers. So if you have any other questions about Docker or containers or anything like that, please feel free to reach out in Slack. Thank you and have a wonderful day.